Interesting facts about parrots. January 15, 2017. Parrots are amazing creatures, distinguished not only by their bright beauty, but also by their intelligence and ingenuity. The variety of these birds is huge, from a tiny woodpecker parrot to a giant macaw. Which parrots are smarter than everyone, and which ones are decorated with the largest beak? Which of the representatives of the parrot family flies faster than anyone, and who is not able to fly at all? Which of the birds became famous thanks to their outstanding abilities to sing and dance, and who has a vocabulary 10 times greater than that of Elokoshchikina? Read about this and much more in the article Interesting Facts About Parrots. Contents: the largest parrot, the smallest parrot, the heaviest parrot, the most bloodthirsty parrot, the most expensive parrot, the most capable parrot, the fastest parrot. Interesting facts about budgies. Why does a parrot need a third leg? Paws, hands. A miracle in feathers has a sense of rhythm. Not only does the world-famous wise guy dance, but also sings. The largest parrot in the world is the hyacinth macaw, a very beautiful parrot with bright blue plumage and a distinctive yellow ring around the eyes. In length, some individuals reach 1 meter, while the giants weigh relatively little, 1.5 to 2 kilograms. Black cockatoos can hardly compete with them. They reach the size of 60 centimeters and weigh about 1 kilogram. But the black cockatoo has the largest, up to 10 centimeters long, and a powerful beak. It can easily bite a human finger. It is not surprising that the word cockatoo in translation from Malay means wire cutters. The smallest parrot is the tiniest woodpecker parrots. The body length of an adult is 10 centimeters, and the body weight is only 10 to 13 grams. Because of their diminutive size, they are almost inaccessible to observation by scientists, and for this reason are poorly studied. They live in New Guinea. The heaviest parrot, the heaviest, but does not mean the biggest, is the kakapo parrot, or owl parrot. The length of the kakapo's body is about 60 centimeters, while the weight can reach 4 kilograms. These parrots have lost the ability to fly and lead a mostly terrestrial lifestyle. But sometimes, apparently remembering their feathered origin, kakapo climb to the tops of trees and plan from a height of up to 50 meters. There are heavyweights in New Zealand. By the way, in the USA, kakapo is recognized as one of the ugliest animals. Paradoxically, here he is also considered one of the most charming. Besides, he smells. It doesn't stink, but it smells, one might say, of perfume. The most bloodthirsty parrot. Such a title was given to the Kia parrot, which lives in New Zealand. Local farmers can't stand these birds. Allegedly, birds attack sheep at night and peck them to death. Indeed, Kia is the only parrot whose diet, in addition to the usual nuts, fruits, cereals, and other vegetation, includes mutton. New Zealand residents compose legends about the bloodthirstiness of Kia and claim that they cause significant damage to sheep farming. The researchers came to the conclusion that in each flock of Kia there are 2 to 3 individuals who are really capable of killing a sheep. But according to scientists, this happens infrequently. In addition, Kia is famous for its hooligan behavior and impudent temper. You can learn more about these unique items from this article. The most expensive parrot in the world is the giant hyacinth macaw, already mentioned by us. The price of a bird is more than 500,000 rubles, which is explained by the incredible beauty of the parrot and its rarity. By the way, the hyacinth macaw is on the verge of extinction and is listed in the International Red Book. The culprits of the disappearance of the handsome man are hunters and bird catchers who use them for commercial purposes. The most capable parrot of human speech is able to imitate several species of parrots. So, cockatoos can remember up to 4 dozen words and several sentences. Loris are distinguished by the ability to reproduce 50 words and several sentences. And some waivers can repeat about 100 words, but at the same time they rarely speak in sentences. But the most intelligent and capable of learning is the parrot jacko. There are cases when talkers not only assimilated more than 2,000 words, but also pronounced them with different intonation corresponding to the topic of the conversation. Read also, Where to Put a Cage with a Parrot. The fastest parrot. This nomination was received by budgies. These birds fly at a speed of 120 km/h, however, This speed is short-lived and the undulations use their abilities only while searching for food. Interesting facts about budgies: in addition to the fact that they are the fastest parrots, they have lived in Australia for more than 5 million years, have an auditory range of 400 to 20,000 Hz, can turn their heads 180 degrees, find a pair once and for life, can live up to 20 years, they have color vision, and in a second, they see up to 150 images, which is 10 times more than a person sees. Their colors can only be white, blue, green, yellow and gray. An adult parrot weighs about 30 grams, and a chick is born weighing only about 2 grams. Their normal body temperature is 41 degrees Celsius. Their heart beats at a rate of 200 times per minute. It takes them about 12 hours to sleep. More expensive than slaves. Many believe that Europeans got acquainted with parrots in the era of great geographical discoveries, which began in 1514 in Portugal. But this is not quite true. For the first time, Europeans saw parrots in India, and these Europeans were the soldiers of Alexander the Great. And the commander Onzicrit brought them to Greece, and they were tame birds, since parrots in India have been kept in houses since time immemorial. An interesting fact is that in India it was even believed that every noble person in life should not only build a house, plant a tree and give birth to a son, but also be sure to raise a parrot. Anyway, the Greeks liked the learned birds. They became popular very quickly and almost immediately got to ancient Rome. The Roman patricians believed that every noble house should have several birds, and therefore bought them for a lot of money. In those days, a trained parrot was worth more than a young slave. The birds had special teachers, rhetoricians, whose duty it was to teach the bird to talk. However, with the decline of the Roman Empire, parrots also disappeared. The second coming of these birds to Europe occurred with the beginning of the Crusades, at the beginning of the 11th century. However, few birds were brought, they often died on the way, so only kings and the highest nobility kept them. Under the wing of Tsar Boris and the Pope, it is believed that the first phenomenon of parrots in Russia happened only in the middle of the 17th century. However, this can be doubted, since a parrot appeared in the inventory of the property of Boyar Boris Godunov from 1589, he became Tsar only 9 years later. Well, since at that time Godunov was only a boyar, even if he was a neighbor, even if he was the actual CO ruler of Russia, we must think that this bird was not the only one in Moscow. According to the chronicles, the first Tsar of the Romanov family, Fyodor Mikhailovich, also kept parrots. Well, in the chronicles of Arseny Sukhanov, hieromonk, builder of the Moscow Epiphany Monastery, the bird papagai is mentioned, which is closest to God among Catholics. It is thanks to the Catholic Church that the bird got its name. The fact is that when parrots began to be imported to Europe, a large number of birds got into the Vatican. Tame birds, and even those who could speak or reproduce the play of musical instruments, made an indelible impression on the priests. And since they resembled roosters by the brightness of their feathers, hence the Gaul from which Guy came, they began to be called papal roosters, papagal. Then, thanks to the speech simplification, a parrot turned out. By the way, in Arabic this word sounds like babagha. Why does a parrot need a third leg? The third leg of the parrot is the beak. If a dog does not need a fifth leg in principle, then his third leg is very useful to a parrot. The fact is that the parrot's beak is special. It is thick, hooked, but the most important feature is the peculiar hinged design of the beak. The upper part of it in parrots does not fuse with the skull, as in other birds, and this allows the feathered to move the upper beak in all directions. Despite the fact that the beak of parrots is very strong, they are able to use it with surgical precision and accuracy. Of course, different parrots have different beak strength, and if, for example, a macaw can crack even a coconut with it, then wavy parrots are certainly not capable of such a feat. However, even hitting them with a small beak can be very painful. In any case, if a domestic cat encroaches on this small bird, it will definitely not seem enough to her. Thanks to its hinged design, the beak of a parrot, both large and small, can carry out the most precise manipulations, for example, pecking the smallest strawberry bones so carefully that the berry itself will remain intact. Read also, how to give a parrot an injection. An amazing sight is feeding the chicks. The chicks are several times smaller than the parent's beak, but they are fed to their full and do not receive any bodily injuries. And this happens due to the fact that at the end of the beak there are special receptors that allow you to recognize cold, heat, the shape of an object, as well as to feel the slightest touch. And another purpose of the beak is a kind of cat used when climbing trees, rock crevices, and other vertical surfaces. Clinging to the slightest irregularities with their beak, the parrots quickly move their paws and go up and down, like climbers. Paws hands. The paws of a parrot also deserve special attention. Short, but at the same time extremely strong, with fingers arranged in an absolutely incredible, at first glance, way. The two middle ones look forward, the two extreme ones look back. Such a device of fingers allows parrots to wield a paw in the same way as we wield our hands. That is why they can take and move various objects, bring them to the beak, hold food in their paws, etc. Parrots have a real sense of rhythm. So, in 2011, a cockatoo named Snowball amazed the scientific world with his dances to the music provided to him. At first, scientists were tormented by doubts about Snowball's talents, but experiments confirmed that Snowball really listens to music and follows the rhythm. Sometimes speeding up, then slowing down the tempo of the music, scientists made sure that the parrot follows the rhythm, dancing slower, then faster. For the animal world, this is supernatural. After all, it has always been believed that only a person has a sense of rhythm and therefore he can dance. Where parrots have this ability remains a mystery. Not only dances, but also sings. In the world there is a musical group Hatebeak, the vocalist of which is a 20-year-old grey parrot named Waldo. In honor of Jacko, the musicians named their style Parrot Metal, Parrot Metal. The Hatebeak group conducts only studio work, and refuses invitations to concert tours, arguing that the grey soloist will not withstand such loads. The world-famous clever parrot is considered one of the smartest birds, which has been repeatedly confirmed by numerous studies. There are even schools in Australia that specialize in teaching parrots to speak. Previously, scientists believed that parrots could only unconsciously imitate human speech and sounds. But thanks to the parrot Jacko named Alex, this opinion was refuted. He was listed in the Guinness Book of Records and awarded the title of the smartest parrot in the world. After all, the world-famous grey nerd not only knew more than 400 words, but could also operate with the following concepts: size, color, numbers. For example, having received the task to bring 5 big red balls, he chose really red, big ones, and very often, the percentage of hits is from 65 to 80%, brought really 5. And, for example, a parrot living in Moscow knows the nicknames of his flatmates, 2 cats and 2 dogs. And when someone from the pack approaches the smart guy's cage, he unmistakably calls them by their names, never confusing Murdoch and Bobeek. And these birds are extremely attached to their owners and are capable of tender, trembling and faithful love. Don't you believe it? Parrots can rightfully be called the most amazing creatures tamed by humans. We bring to your attention interesting facts about parrots that cannot be ignored. The most common species of domestic birds are corellas and decorative budgies. The smallest species of parrots are the woodpecker, representatives of their genus. They weigh 11 grams. The body length is 9 centimeters. The record holder, listed in the Guinness Book of Records, was a feathered pet who knew more than 400 words in different languages. Entertaining about parrots. Parrots are long-lived in the bird world, some of them live for hundreds of years. In the wild, there is a species of Kia parrots. They are predators. Birds feed on small mice, worms, and sometimes carrion. Left-handed and right-handed people can be found among the birds. You can determine this by following the pet, which paw he takes a treat. For example, parrots lack vocal cords. Imitation of sounds, they perform with their mouth. In 2011, scientists were able to reveal that the paradise birds have an innate sense of rhythm. 1/3 of all existing parrot breeds are on the verge of extinction and need to be listed in the Red Book. A bird living in America suddenly saw the offenders committing a robbery and was able to call their names. Lovebirds can be faithful to each other all their lives. Indian parrots became the first birds to be in Europe. Indians often used corellas and other parrots as guards, because they informed their owners about the penetration of the territory of the snakes. This information is supported by scientifically proven facts. Do you want to know how corella parrots see? Then know that their eyesight is better than human. They distinguish more colors and can recognize up to 150 different images per second. The human brain can recognize only 16. Parrots have acute hearing and turn their heads 180 degrees. The birds sleep for 10 to 12 hours a day. Interesting fact about birds. Indian policeman detained a talking bird insulting a woman. As a result, it turned out that the abusive words of the pet were taught by her son, to whom the woman was a stepmother. 2 American parrots who can speak were able to escape from the fire by calling for help from people, shouting help. Biologists from Oxford were able to establish that the birds are excellent burglars. When opening locks, they show special tactics, which indicates their remarkable intelligence. Interesting pink cockatoos. Interesting facts about large parrots. The largest beak, which is 10 centimeters long, has a cockatoo with black plumage. Indians prefer to decorate their arrows with bright macaw feathers. Handsome cockatoo parrots with yellow cheeks are monogamous. They find a female and a male once and stay with him for the rest of their lives. And even after years, love does not pass. Hindus consider bright birds sacred for the fact that they can talk like a person. Not every parrot can fly. The owl species or kakapo living in New Zealand has lost its flying skills, but it climbs perfectly and can easily climb a tall tree. An interesting fact about the macaw parrot is that their height can reach 1 meter in length. These are really large birds, but so few people could imagine. The name of the species lory means clown in Dutch. Why is this the case? Such a nickname the birds got thanks to the bright feathers. Cockatoos and other representatives of the parrot breed give their chicks names. They all consist of different sounds made when birds chirp. These are scientifically proven facts, so you should not doubt them. The largest birds can fly about 500 miles a day in order to find food. Amazon and interesting about it. Interesting facts about budgies. To teach the budgie to speak, it can be sent to a special school created for birds in Australia. Do you think this is fiction? In fact, these are confirmed facts. These are these amazing and popular paradise birds. Are you wondering if budgies can see in the dark? No. They are practically deprived of night vision. The heart of the wavy feathered bird has a beating frequency of 200 beats per minute. One newborn baby bird of the wavy weighs 2 grams. The body temperature of the wavy is 41 degrees. There are much more wavy birds in the home than in the wild. In order for an ordinary feathered bird to become a talking parrot, a child or a woman should be engaged with them, so they have a high timbre of voice. In the wild, the budgie species lives in flocks and breeds all year round. An adult wavy weighs from 25 to 35 grams. He lives from 13 to 15 years. There have been cases when a pet lived to be 20 years old. Since parrots have a well-developed sense of rhythm, they are able to dance to the beat of music. In fact, parrots do not understand the meaning of the words they repeat. Due to human activity and poaching, more than 30% of all parrots are on the verge of extinction. An interesting fact is that in Australia there are special institutions where parrots are taught to memorize words. The treasury of the Czech Republic is significantly replenished by breeding and trading parrots. Most parrots have a weakness for alcohol. In the natural environment, they prefer to eat fermented fruits or berries. Did you know that parrots don't have vocal cords? And they reproduce sounds thanks to their beak and tongue. Woodpecker parrots living in New Guinea are the smallest representatives of this family. Their body length does not exceed 10 centimeters. But the largest parrots are the Amazonian ones. Their body length reaches 1 m. An interesting fact is that cockatoos are able to fly more than 700 kilometers in a day in search of food. Just some planes, not birds. In nature, parrots live in large flocks. The largest of them, discovered by man, consisted of approximately 70,000 individuals. The main part of the parrot eats plant food and less often insects. However, Kia parrots are able to hunt even such large animals as sheep. In the vocabulary of the smartest parrot named Jacko there were about 400 words. Did you know that in ancient Rome a parrot table is more expensive than a slave? The most popular pet parrot is the wavy one. The most expensive parrot on the planet is the hyacinth macaw. To buy a similar bird, you will need to pay about $8,000. Such a large price is explained by the amazing beauty of the parrot and its rarity. There is a known case when a parrot helped investigators solve a crime. When the intruders broke into someone else's house, they often called each other by their first names. As a result, the parrot memorized the names of the criminals, after which he pronounced them in the presence of policemen. This information helped put the crooks behind bars. The fact that parrots live for 100 years is nothing more than a myth. In fact, the average life expectancy of birds is 50 years, although some of them live up to 70 years of age. An interesting fact is that today there are more domestic parrots than those that live in the wild. Among all varieties of birds, only parrots can eat food by holding it in their paws. In Russian written sources, the word parrot is first found in the inventory of Boris Godunov's property in 1589. Parrots managed to be domesticated about 3 millennia ago. Large parrots can easily bite a human finger. Therefore, be careful when you feed these birds with your hands. Kia parrots, unlike their relatives, prefer to live in the mountains, because it is much colder there.